Edward here from eReviewer.com. I have another video for you. This is another session in my continued exploration into this, what Ingo Swann terms second reality. My goal is to experience the second reality deeper and in a more meaningful way than I have before in all of my other remote viewing experiences. What I'm looking for is a full-on experience of this second reality, and that's what I'm going for. And so in these videos, what I'm showing in these experimental videos, what I'm doing is I'm first addressing things like what Ingo Swann terms the ESP core, or my own core, the mental processing realms that these inputs move through, and identifying them, experiencing them, exploring them, understanding them better, so that I can gauge better as I am moving towards experiencing more of the second reality. In this session, what I was aiming to do was more of an immersion. I want to immerse myself into the experience of this second reality per the what we call a target. Again, these targets are all online database. I'm completely blind. I have no idea what the target is until I'm done with the session. And that's what I was really going for in the session, was just to allow myself to immerse more into the second reality, addressing the aspects of the core, the pre-conscious processes, what I could feel were processes that were taking place, and as I was moving more into the experience of immersion into the second reality. The target was a really weird target. It was a piercing festival in Malaysia. This happens like on a full moon, certain time of the year. Which is an aspect that was coming through for me, was that this was something that, this kind of seasonal type of thing. But it was a piercing festival, and it was really, looking at the feedback photos and the research was pretty gross. These people are putting all these hooks in their bodies and in their backs and their faces, and it just really pretty nasty. But what I was experiencing was these rings and what was like chainmail and all these kinds of things, but that's really not that important to me. Getting verifiable aspects of a target for me are only important to gauge the level of experience that I'm having as I'm attempting to immerse myself into the second reality. My goal again is to immerse into the second reality and experience that. That's my main goal, not so much describing targets accurately, which is what typical remote viewing was designed to do, was to describe remote targets accurately. I'm really not interested in that. I'm interested in experiencing second reality. And so that's what I was going for. This was a really interesting session. I had really strong feelings that were coming through, and textures, and allowing myself to immerse more into it, and feel it and experience it, and I could feel that I was the inputs were available, and I was moving with them and through them and experiencing them. The data, again, some things that came through were recognizable to the target, sure, absolutely. But again, that's not my main focus. So this was really interesting, and I got another really interesting one that's going to be coming out after this one, that's more deeper into allowing myself to feel these things. There are terms, this is not new to remote viewing, there are terms for this type of thing: bilocation, site integration, and these types of things are terms that are used for this type of experience, where you are basically feel like you're no longer in your current location, you're somewhere else. And bilocation is one term that describes that. Though for me that term doesn't fully encapsulate what it is that I'm trying to experience. But it's pretty close. Immersion is more the word that I would say describes more of what it is that I'm actually looking to experience. I want to immerse myself into this other reality. And the point in time and space, or the target, is only a marker, a pointer of where to go within this second reality, and that's what I'm using it for, as well as the illuminating factor to illuminate the core, my own ESP core, my own preconscious processes, my own threshold of awareness. All of these things are what I'm trying to illuminate as so I can navigate my way into this other realm and experience this second reality in the way that I want to. And so that's what this video is about, and so I hope you enjoy it, and many more to come. I want to experience that. I want to experience the processing realms, the physicality of it. I want to experience that as well. Okay, alright, voice is good. We got plenty of time. 7915. I'm getting either a random thought or unimpeded input. Spacey. Spacey. That's a word. Round, flat, dense, open, crunchy, pebbly, like kind of crunchy. Crunchy, pebbly, round and flat, dense, silver, round, like this is bringing in some memory comparison here of like rings, you know, rings. Maybe they're connected. This is giving me also some memory comparison of chain mail. Chain mail, you know, these loops. Kind of thing, like small and large, inside, dense, moving, wiry, like a thin metal, like mesh, covering something, 7915, 7915. Grooved. Dusty. Smooth. Objects. Purple. Edged. 7915, 7915. Inside. Warm. These fighting, but that feels like it's kind of connected to this chainmail thing. But this feels like covering something here. Like this is a covering. This feels like a small piece of it here. All these little loops. But it feels like a texture. You know, like this kind of crumbly thing here. But like, I'm getting like memory comparisons of like seaweed or coral reef. You know, that kind of thing with this, all of this texture. You know, this texture. Let's see here. 7915. 7915. Grooved inside. Gripping like it's like covering. Yeah, this is idea generation, like covering. And I'm getting this, like if you like barnacles, you know, like barnacles, like that, you know. Like that, like barnacles, like that. They're kind of like attached. You know, groups of them. Slim, dense, curved. I feel like I'm covered in them. Or they're wrapped around me. You know, that kind of, this texture. 7915, 7915, 7915. Below. And this is kind of like adhesions, but like the underside. The underside of something here. Kind of like that. Texture. Like I can, if I could feel it, like I could scrape my hand down it. Like that, you know, like that. Let's see what else. What else is there? 7915, 7915, 7915, 7915. Pink, red, blue, soft, hairy, dimpled. Feels like life forms. Soft and hairy. This texture. Let's keep going with sensory. Pull it out of here. 7915. 7915. 7915. Curved. Bent, curving. Yellow, bright, slim, wet, watery, diving, echoes, voices. I'm getting voices there. Voices. I'm getting this idea of canopy. I don't know if this is random thought or unimpeded, but canopy. Canopy. Like a cover? What does that mean, canopy? Like, canopy more like draping over? Draping over something? I feel like something is draping over me. Draping over me. This feels like it's here as well. Like that. Groupings, you know, like that, like groupings. Grouping silver. What voices though? Inside. What about canopy? Canopy? 7915. Smooth. Wet, dense, coarse. Coarse, edged. Sharp, pointy. That's the coarse, the coarse, the texture, this coarseness, you know, like that, you know, kind of in this shape like this, like that, like a puffball or a puffy fish. Puffball or a puffer fish, that kind of thing, like that kind of texture. That's the kind of texture that I'm getting, like pointy, edged, filmy. Let me see what else I can get here. 7915. Wide, open, dense, blue, white. Noisy. I'm getting noisy, but I'm getting this like screaming noisy, yeah? Like screaming, noisy, which is making me think like these are people, you know, screaming, noisy, edged, moving. Are they moving like that? I mean, does that kind of... I don't want to analyze. I don't want to overanalyze that. But this kind of the groovy, or the groove curve. The texture. Texture like that. 7915. Steep edged, an edge. It's like an edge here, an edge. Edge like that. I got a lot of processing coming through, and I have a lot of creative additions. That's what's happening right now, is that these images are in the processing realm, in the core. Inside of the core, creative additions are wanting to attach themselves to these images, to these shape forms. Creative additions, I'm trying to keep them at bay as best I can. 7915, I know they want to come out. 7915, 7915. Looping, these loops and rings. Rings. This is giving me memory comparisons here of like gymnastics. You know, on the rings or whatever. What else? Flowing. Dense, hard, smooth, curved. 7915. Dimpled. You know, that kind of rough, coarse surface. You know, this rough course. Let me try this, because I want to get more into what's going on here. I want to get into the nature of what's going on here. What is the nature of what's going on here? What is the nature of it? Let me just pull out some sensory stuff here. Coarse edged blue, white. I'm getting these random thoughts here. They could be random thoughts, they could be unimpeded. Or this could be an idea of sometimes. Or like seasonal. Seasonal, there's other words to describe this idea. Seasonal, occasional. Certain times of the year kind of thing. That idea, that's more of an idea. These are idea generation here. That kind of thing. Nature of it. It's which would kind of mean like temporary. You know, this idea like certain times of the year. What does that mean though? Like, what's a better word for that? Seasonal, but there's a better word. There's another word trying to come through. Let me just start pulling stuff out here. What's the nature? 7915, white, blue, green, yellow, dense, open, far beyond, yellow, smooth, curved, green inside. This is kind of coming a mountain. Mountain here, maybe, possibly. Grooved, slim, white. This word packed. Ground, powdery, milled, powdery, like, what does that mean, like, powdery, milled. This is like the idea here of like recycled. Milled, like refined, refined. This here. This here. This here. You know, some kind of process. Something like that. You know, these things are kind of like milled and recycled, seasonal. They're associated with this. Some kind of process here. You know, I'm getting like the algae. I mean, this is over here with this kind of stuff. Algae. Kind of thing. Try one. Oh yeah, the nature. Leave that up there. 7915. 7915. Green. Smooth. Dense white. Yellow. Looping. Brown. Crunchy. Crunchy. This is like idea generation here, like autumn leaves. Crunchy, like autumn leaves, like kind of crunchy. Yeah, kind of these things here. These things. Feels like I'm in seaweed. Feels like I'm in some seaweed. Like a camouflage. Like you see that kind of camouflage that's kind of, you know, kind of looks like that, like rings or whatever. It's covering something. That kind of thing. It's like covering me. Okay. Okay, so this feels like something that is like it could cover me. You know, like these, they feel like rings or seaweed or something like that. Coral reef or something. Crunchy. Very textury. Very textury. Kind of pointy. I feel like I I can do that with it. Okay.